Rachel Zegler is in another career crisis. And why? Well, because it turns out nobody is going to her movies, and now the next one is in doubt. Rachel Zegler has been waiting 1 year to go into production for a film out of thatparkplace.com. Bookmark it if you can. Next Rachel Zegler film still reportedly has no theatrical nor streaming distribution agreement. Wait a minute, what? Oh my. Rachel Zegler's next feature film, She Gets It From Me, is headed into production without a confirmed distributor and with what appears to be a modest independent budget. The project, which will co-star Marissa Tomei and is directed by Julia von Hines, is structured as an independently financed character-driven dramedy, rather than a traditional studio-backed production. As of now, no major studio or streaming platform has acquired distribution rights for the film. Instead, international sales are being handled by Embankment Films, a UK-based company that specializes in raising financing through territory pre-sales. In North America, CAA is representing the project in an effort to secure a domestic distributor. Culture, this means they don't have anybody who's actually agreed to put this out there. And by the way, Culture, Embankment Films, I don't know if you've heard of them, okay? They're a big deal. Here are some of the films that Embankment Films, now the saviors of Rachel Zegler's career. Here's some of the films, Culture, they've made. Tell me if you've heard of these. Golda, The Miracle Club, Joica, and The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fly. Culture. This is who's in charge of rescuing Rachel Zegler. They still don't have a distributor. Unless people say, well, it's an indie film pro. That's how it goes sometimes at Culture. This film has been waiting in pre-production for a year, and they still don't have it secured. This may not go to streaming or theaters at all.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of films sit on the shelves for a while. There was a recent Anthony Mackie film that sat on the shelves since 2021 that's just finally making its way to either release or streaming. A lot of these films like this are going to have to be sold at film festivals. They're going to have to be going to the open market. And this has been happening more frequently with controversial people or people whose films aren't performing at the highest levels. You think there's talent there, and you're gambling on it when you're trying to get something made. So I have a feeling we're going to start seeing this more and more frequently, which might explain why in a video I did yesterday, and I know you've talked about it, you're starting to see stars not be politically engaged at interviews anymore. They're not being baited into answering uncomfortable questions about politics and things like that. I think we're going to start seeing that more and more frequently. People like Neil Patrick Harris and obviously Kevin James.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And Michelle Yao, yeah.
Mm.
So as you start to see these people refuse to talk on that level, and you're starting to see film festival people that are running these festivals say, like the Berlin Film Festival,
Sure.
they just told the press, stop asking these questions. Stop it. And it's really the best. I'm not kidding. Shut up and act is a real thing now. So
here's the deal, though, Culture.
Yeah.
Okay, so who wants to have Rachel Zegler again? Who wants to take the bet and put down the money to distribute this film? I'm telling you, Culture, this might go to like Tubi or Roku at best.
It could happen.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. If she does a good job in the role, if the movie has a good story, if it looks good at a film festival, it might get sold. It might eventually make it to a studio. I mean, that's what happened with Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights just came out. That was a Margot Robbie project. It just happened. It didn't do super great at the box office, but that went to the wide market, and it only sold because Margot Robbie was not only in it, but it was part of her production company, and they took the gamble on it. So she took less money so that we get wide distribution through Warner Brothers than the higher offer at $150 million from Netflix for it to go straight to streaming.
Do you know the percentage of the Rotten Tomatoes on that one? Because I heard it did not.
It's pretty low.
Well.
I
heard it didn't do that well, which is a bummer because I wanted to see it, and I was like, the girls.
It's not a good Emily Bronte adaptation of the story, and there are 5, 6, 7 other versions of this, including a Netflix version, that were done more faithfully. This one is very much outside the story and more carnally driven, to say it in a kind way.
Okay.
So yeah,
I trusted good friends of ours over at Force of Light. They saw it and didn't like it. Yeah. So I'm like, I'll just wait then until
Alan Ng hates this movie. Said so publicly on film.
Well, that's two people we greatly respect and admire. MJ, we're sad for Rachel Zegler. I know people will be shocked to hear that, but she's a young woman and young people make mistakes. She made a lot of mistakes. Her career is now at the edge, and she's in a very different position today versus where she was just 2 years ago. As far as we know, this is the only movie she's attached to whatsoever. It's not a blockbuster. It's a teeny weeny, itsy bitsy budget. She's probably not being paid much. There's no distributor attached to it. And MJ, I don't know how she comes back. Even if she does a great job in this film, there's no guarantee she gets more chances. So this really is sad. I hope she can pull a Brie Larson and turn her career around. But what say you? Is there any chance for the Zeg to get her legs back?
Well, she totally, I'm going to point a couple of things out and then I'll talk about her specifically. I'm going to talk about her specifically and then I'll point a couple of things out. She's young, she's naive, and she got sucked into the influence of this is what we want you to do instead of, she's not mature yet. Let me just put it that way. So I almost feel sorry for her because in reality is people are not going to go, the general audience is not going to go deep like we do. Who wrote it? Who produced it? Who's this? Who's that? They're going to look at her and say, you ruined our Snow White. We don't want you, like, off with your head, right? Okay. There is a chance that she can bounce back if she gets in with the right people this time that give her a role, like Culture was saying. It's got to be written well. It's got to be she's got to play a good character in the role that they give her. She's very young and she could make it, she could, come back stronger. But as of right now, her reputation is pretty much ruined because she ruined a classic and not just any classic. I mean, this is what brought up the Walt Disney Company to where it is. Well, to make it what it was. I mean, you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
It's just really sad. Young people get, sucked into this thing of like not being able to think for themselves. Everybody's thinking for them. Oh, let me chat GPG. I don't even know how to say it properly. Okay. You guys can laugh at me. Let me chat. Let me ask chat. Let me do this. Let me do that. They got to think for themselves. They got to know how to be able to stand up for themselves. And the majority of these young folks don't know how to do that. That's why I am the way I am with my children. I believe in tough love. You got to let your kids shine. And they always ask me, what about this? What about that? No, how do you feel about that? What's your opinion on that? Like, sit down and have conversations with your kids so they don't end up like Rachel Zegler. You never know where your kids are going to end up in when they're 20, 21, 22, 25. But if they don't learn how to make decisions as young teenagers, or, even by the time they're 11 years old, you got to be able to give them that stronghold, lay down the concrete. So when they're older, they don't get taken advantage of and have other people make decisions for them.
Very well said. Yes, absolutely. And Zegler has put herself in a horrible spot. Mm-hmm. Ron, as we think about what next steps Zegler might take, and can she recover? Can she come back from this? One of the things that's on my mind with her is that I don't know how she's going to find her way back in, simply because this is a young woman, Ron, who 2 years ago she was getting blockbuster money. She was getting every deal possible. She was getting awards for stuff that hadn't even come out yet. And now nobody will even take the distribution chance on her. I mean, she has fallen maybe faster and harder than any person in the last decade.
Well, I have the brilliant idea for Miss Rachel Zegler.
Oh, my.
She joins the All-American Tour with Bad Bunny, and she sings her way to success.
Well.
You're going to put her with the Wascally Wabbit. Shame on you, Ron.
She can sing. She's not the best singer in the world, by the way. When I listen, I'm like, okay, there's a lot better, but I will give her this. It was not well received and it was not well timed. Not only that, but it was just not well thought out, that nobody really wanted this movie. But West Side Story, the remake, she did a good job in the movie. She did the role as she was designed to do the role. And it didn't need to be done. The original West Side Story stands just heads and tails above the remake in so many different ways. But she did what she was supposed to. When she first got cast as Snow White, before I think that she was given talking points by Disney that like blew up in her face. actually think that she was told to diss on the first Snow White, because when she first got cast, she was going to the park. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm Snow White. I love this." She was going with her friends, fellow vloggers that I know, and then she started weighing in on things that she shouldn't have. She started making,
they got into her brain.
Yeah,
and she's vulnerable. Yeah,
right. And then there was the comment, the political comment made on X, which I think was maybe the last thing that she ever said on X. And not only that, it wasn't even given as her own opinion. It was actually on a thread promoting Snow White, which you just do not do, right? Like, at least you could have separated that off. So and then here's the other thing that's puts Zegler in an incredibly difficult spot vis-a-vis Brie Larson. Brie Larson, a lot of people may forget this, but she was actually an Academy Award winning actress before she started making the comments that got her in trouble. She had actually gotten to a point where she probably thought she had a bit of a platform to say that. She's backed off away from that. She's taken, I don't know how many, the last thing that, aside from the Marvels, which was horrible, but she kind of stepped back, and she's trying to revive her career, and she's being very quiet. Like, she's been asked political questions. She's like, yes, steering away from it. Could Rachel Zegler pull a Brie Larson? Well, now you have AI coming into the picture, and AI is going to make it for anybody to thrive in an acting career or to revive an acting career. Yeah, boy, she has an uphill battle, and if she's really, really nice to her fellow castmates when she's doing live productions, if she honors her understudies when they jump in and do a better job than her, if she changes all that kind of stuff about her own attitude and maybe grows up a little bit, sure, she could have a career.
Yeah,
but
she has a lot of growing up to do. She's not mature yet,
Yeah. Or, she ends up in Branson like I did, whatever.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.